Hello and welcome to the In a Nutshell podcast with myself, Andrew Miles Davis, and my co-host Chris Branch. This is the daily 10-minute podcast where we take out all of the techie talk around generative AI and focus on what the everyday person, content creator, and marketer wants to hear. Now, we've only got 10 minutes, so we can only focus on one subject. And today we are going back to a subject that we've spoken about numerous times on this podcast, and that's politics as usual. Because every week, without fail, there is always another story around what's going on in the world of politics. And this week has not disappointed. In fact, it's actually quite interesting because the politics is not from America or the UK or even Europe. The politics today is from Pakistan. And what's happened is Pakistan is Imran Khan. So remember the cricketer, Imran Khan? So he used AI to make a victory speech from jail. So essentially, I'm just going to read this from a magazine or a newspaper. Imprisoned and barred from running, Khan used AI intelligence to create a stand-in voice to spread his message. So not only did he campaign in jail, he won the elections while in jail and used AI to provide a big part of this. So let that sink in. So before I go into more detail, Chris, initially, what's your thoughts on this?
Scary, honestly. Good intentions, bad intentions. The fact that you can essentially, and the first thing I thought of when you just said that is, I wonder how much Pakistan pays for their elections compared to America, because I've heard that there's billions of dollars go into the smear campaigns that essentially are in the run up to the American elections versus locally in Pakistan. Like maybe it's because this guy is talking to a population that hasn't got as much GDP that AI could be so much more influential. But on the scale of America, what could happen? Essentially anything at the billions of dollars versus what this guy's used in order to actually win his election locally. So I just thought, abstract this 300-500 times bigger. How much more content could you make? Like an unbelievable amount. So yeah,
this here shows me that, and obviously let's like address the elephant in the room. Trump is in a lot of trouble. Will he go to jail? I very much doubt it. But even if he does go to jail, he can use AI to win the elections. And this is kind
will
of
America allow that? That's the thing.
Will they allow that? Again, it depends because I don't know exactly how legislation gets in or stopped, etc. But I know it has to be voted in. But did they? Well, obviously they did allow it in Pakistan. So is it too late to allow something like this? Again, this without getting into detail, I don't really want to get into that. But let's stick to what's happening here, because essentially what they're saying is there's an AI for everything. He campaigned using AI generated videos, and these videos generated millions of views on the likes of TikTok and X and YouTube, and it kept his voters. And again, I feel he's very much like a lot of politicians that has very passionate voters and people behind him. So because a lot of them thought that he was wrongly imprisoned. So again, he used AI to create his image, AI to create his voice, someone typing in and writing prompts to create the speech. He's already got a big platform, so distribution was there. Once he won the elections, again, same thing, getting it out there. It's almost basically saying that nothing is going to hold me back. If I want to get my message across, now, even if it wasn't politics, this could be about anything. If I want to get my message across and I've got a community, but whatever reason I can't speak to them, as in me speaking to them, like face to face or creating my own video, AI is going to knock down that wall. And that's scary stroke good, depending on how
it is. Like one of the things we suffer with in the West is this two-party system. The fact that there are only one guy and another guy to vote for, and they represent very different things. Like I know that from talking to personal friends that live in Holland, they say that they have up to 12 candidates, representing different parties, and that this is a totally different way. Now, if you're independent like that and you don't have billions of dollars to back you up, it is good that you say like technology can spread your message and, be used for that PR purpose. But it is also troublesome that the more money you have, the more propaganda you can spread, essentially. So
Mm.
it might be an elitist thing. So the more money your party has, the more likely you are to get out there. And, and like you said, there's no policies on TikTok or anything like this to stop these advertisements going up. And in fact, if they did directly stop it, they'd just pay influencers to then, say the
Mm.
same messages and not even, make it aware to the public that they've been given money from politicians in order to say these things, and it's not actually their opinions.
Yeah.
So they're going to get through to us in one way or another, essentially, through these platforms. So yeah, it's I've seen Meta running ads all of the time that they shouldn't legally be allowed to run,
Yeah.
like, and Meta is one of the biggest and best advertising platforms in the world, and they even use AI to, look at their ads and say whether or not it should be okay to run, and it's often wrong.
Yeah,
So
there's always
there's
going to be people that's going to game the system and get
yeah,
round it.
exactly.
As I can't remember who said it, but I remember hearing it years ago. Marketers ruin everything. There's always going to be a smart marketer that's going to get round
Yeah.
certain things. And I think this shows that, well, history repeats itself. Things go in cycles. And if you look at what happened in 2016,
Mhm.
what happened with the elections and Brexit, etc., and how Cambridge Analytica changed the data landscape, which
Mhm.
affects us now. I think the same thing's going to happen this year with what politicians are going to do. And this is where certain rules and regulations are going to be put in place. Not because of some marketer decided to game this or some scammer decided to do that. I think it's going to be down to what happens in politics and this
Mhm.
year. That's why we did an episode saying this is the golden age of
Yeah.
AI, because I think what's going to happen, there's going to be a lot of dirty tricks that's going to be played. And because of that, rules and regulations are going to be set for the
Mhm.
future, because it's going to impact too many people. And because we're so divided, if the dirty tricks are played by the left, the people on the right is going to complain. If the dirty
Mhm.
tricks are played by people on the right, the people on the left are going to complain. So it's going to be something is going to happen this year without a doubt, and then there's going to be some legislation or rules that's going to be applied.
The sad thing is always that this regulation is reactionary and not preparationary.
Yeah.
Like if you could do it prior to some big event, like world-changing event, like a guy winning an election from his jail cell, then
Mhm.
maybe, you know, good intention or bad intention, whether or not it's right or not, like the fact that he's done that and nothing has stopped him from doing that shows all other world leaders that they can do the same thing. So
Yeah,
now the genie's been let out of the bottle and no one's stopping anything. Something tragic will,
will eventually happen.
eventually happen. Yeah.
And it's easy to stop. You could just literally turn around and say, if anybody uses AI and they define what AI is, because obviously you could use it to edit slightly, but
Yeah.
if anyone uses AI, you are banned or you're whatever. You could
You're
there
culpable.
is some
Yeah.
obviously rules when it comes to politics, what you can and can't do. Like that could easily be implemented. They could easily say that. They could look what's happened in Pakistan and they could say, look, we don't want something like this happening. So to avoid that in these two elections that's happening in the UK and the US, let's ban AI when it comes to X, Y, and Z. And they will decide what X, Y, and Z is. They can put that in place now if they wanted to,
Yeah.
but they won't.
It's stunning
And
that
as you
they
said, it will
haven't.
be reactive afterwards.
Yeah, because like America went through the 2016 elections where there were lots of like, Russian troll farms and stuff, buying anti-Hillary ads and stuff like this. And it was proven that that was the case.
Mm,
Hundreds of thousands of dollars was spent from Russian troll farms.
yeah,
They were literally just trying to wind up people. There was no agenda even and yet because all that happened and now we're in the AI space where it could happen at 100 times scale. It's really weird that America hasn't already decided regulation before this year in the AI elections, because we're
yeah,
calling it the AI elections for a reason.
yeah.
It will be a pivotal year for every single country in
It's a
terms of
yeah.
who's using AI, which politicians are doing it. Was it successful? Was it
Mm.
seen as ridiculous?
Was
Like
it
it could go either
unethical?
way.
Yeah, and like I said, it's even if this was just a place to start to say this is what's happened, let's not allow this, and then they can spend weeks or months because there's still a few months away before the elections
Hmm.
to fine tune everything and to make sure everything goes in place before campaigns really start.
Yeah,
They could
yeah,
easily do this, you know, but it won't happen
no.
because in a nutshell, it's politics as usual.